Sorry, I was just hoisting up my huge Stanley.
You did make a little, like, sound. Anyway, what do you have in store for us for background and maybe psych on North Carolina crimes?
There's no f***ing psych, but I do have a short case for us.
Ooh, I love when you bring a short case.
Mm-hmm. Just a shorty but
All
a
right.
goodie, and an unsolved-y. We'll get to it.
I'm here for. Mine's also a f***ing unsolved-y.
On November 21st, 1789, North Carolina became the 12th state in the Union when its General Assembly ratified the U.S. Constitution. The state is approximately 53,819 square miles. It's not huge.
No, but that's bigger than I pictured it. I feel like maps are so misleading.
I mean, they are. And like world maps are super racist. But,
so I just never know how big anything is.
Well.
My spatial awareness is incredible.
It's bigger than a bread box. I can tell you that. It's got about 10.5 million residents.
That's a lot of people.
It is. The capital is Raleigh, but its first capital was a city called Bath.
Okay.
The state motto is Esse quam videri, which translates in English to be rather than to seem, which is very heady.
Like a shitty tattoo that a SoundCloud DJ would have on his bicep.
Or
in Latin.
Or like the Latin like across the
yes,
like breastbone.
The collarbone. Yeah. 1,000%.
So that was really really heady to me. So here's some further context.
Okay.
In Cicero's essay on friendship, he wrote, quote, Lipschitz.
Pop.
Friendship. He wrote, quote, few are those who wish to be endowed with virtue rather than to seem so. Meaning there are more people who pretend to be righteous and good than who actually are.
Okay. All right.
So to be...
You're not wrong, Cicero, Lipschitz.
It's better to be virtuous rather than to just seem virtuous.
Yeah. Your performative virtue is showing.
Yeah.
North Carolina. Just kidding.
So the state's nicknames are the Old North State and also the Tar Heel State.
Which I think we've discussed before, possibly in North Carolina, possibly in NASCAR crimes. Tar Heels feels so racist to me.
It's not. I'm going to tell you exactly what it's from.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah. So the Tar Heel thing comes from the state's production of naval stores, which I pictured as like belly button shops.
They sell belly button rings.
Or like navel oranges. But a naval store, it pretty much just means any liquid product derived from conifers, like pine trees.
Nothing to do with the navel.
No, I don't know what the navel came in. But so like pine oil and turpentine are derived from different conifer trees. Also tar and something called pitch, which is a kind of like polymer.
Yeah.
And that's extracted from the state's pine forest. And then from the University of North Carolina, quote, workers who distilled turpentine from the sticky sap of pine trees and burned pine boughs to produce tar and pitch often went barefoot during the hot summer months and undoubtedly collected tar on their heels. So to call someone a rosin heel or a tar heel was to imply that they worked in a lowly trade. During the Civil War.
So it's less racist. It's more classist.
Well, during the Civil War, North Carolina soldiers flipped the meaning of the term and turned the epithet into an accolade. They called themselves Tar Heels as an expression of state pride.
They reclaimed it.
The state tree, as you might be able to tell, is the pine tree, and the state flower is the flowering dogwood.
Oh, gorgeous.
I will get to some more state thingies later on because there's a bunch and they're insane. North Carolina is typically broken down into 3 sections. So we're going from west to east. We have the mountains. So that includes the Appalachian Mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains. Lots of mountains in that region.
Yeah.
They also have some of the highest mountains in the eastern United States.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So we've got the mountains, the Piedmont, and the Piedmont is basically a big plateau. It's not mountains and it's not coast.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third area is the coastal plain.
Okay.
So they're very distinct topographies, as it were.
The Piedmont, the big flat.
Yep, the big flat, the middle. Got
And
the
the
mountains,
wider.
the middle, and the coast.
Okay.
According to my boyfriend, Britannica, North Carolina's beginnings are closely tied to the earliest attempts at English colonization of North America. So, if you remember 326 Macabre Mysteries,
Oh, yeah.
I covered the Roanoke colony.
You did.
Mm-hmm. So, Roanoke Island is an island in Dare County, North Carolina.
That's right.
And that was the site of the famous lost colony that vanished sometime after the original landing in 1587.
Bye-bye.
That's so creepy. I love it so much.
Very creepy.
In 1629, King Charles I created the province of Carolina from northern Florida up to Albemarle Sound, which is a large estuary on the coast of what is now North Carolina. So a northern colony was established in the county of Albemarle in 1664, followed by a southern colony that had its own government at Charlestown, which is now Charleston, South Carolina,
Okay, this is making sense.
in
Splitting off.
1670. So they're about 220 miles apart from each other, but those were like the two hubs in this
Carolina.
in
swath.
Carolina. Yes.
Yep.
The northern region's earliest European inhabitants were displaced former indentured servants from the Chesapeake, who had a few established small tobacco farms. Meanwhile, Charlestown was the heart of the colony. It was this big merchant port. It was just bigger, and they had like more kind of commerce happening.
Okay.
The two locales evolved separately, and as their differing geographies and inhabitants steered contrasting courses, a formal split emerged. And in 1712, North and South Carolina became distinct colonies.
Okay.
There was no reported beef between the two.
No shade.
So North Carolina had fewer resources than South Carolina. Therefore, in 1729, okay, this gets a little bit early colonial complicated.
Oh, Lord.
7 of the 8 Lords Proprietors, which is just a fancy name for men who are loyal to the crown.
7 of the 8 lords a leaping.
Yes. So there were 8 Lords a leaping who were like big King Charles fans. They were the ones that were kind of running North Carolina. They were
representing the crown.
They kind of made the government. Because North Carolina had fewer resources, they were just kind of like, oh, screw this. So 7 of the 8 sold their shares of North Carolina to King George II. They were like, we don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
So therefore, North Carolina then became a royal colony ruled directly by the king, except for 1/8 of the colony, which that one guy kept.
That 8th lord that didn't leap into selling his share.
He didn't leap.
Okay.
He looked before he left, and he decided not to leap.
I'm keeping it.
I'm keeping it. So, so this guy's name was Sir George Carteret. He continued owning 1/8 of the colony's land, but because he owned such a small sliver, he didn't have any say in its government. And after the king's officials appointed provincial governors in North Carolina, their government became more efficient and more stable. They created their own economy. It got better for North Carolina after the king was like, okay, this was fun. I'm going to appoint some governors.
We're done now.
We're done now. Okay. On November 2nd, 1769, North Carolina signed a non-importation agreement to resist British taxes.
Okay.
They were like, we don't want anything from Britain. Bye.
We're done.
So this event is often seen as the first time a legislative body acted during the Revolutionary War and may have inspired the North Carolina slogan, "First in Freedom." The slogan may also refer to the Halifax Resolves, which ordered North Carolina's delegation to the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia. So they had some delegates go to Philadelphia to, like, you know, represent all the colonies and
get them in the government, the federal government fracas.
Well, there wasn't a federal government yet because at that time they were still ruled by Great Britain. So this allowed these delegates from North Carolina to form foreign alliances, but they also instead sought and voted for independence from Great Britain. So this made North Carolina the first of the colonial governments to call for total independence. So again, this first in freedom thing. It also became a factor leading to the writing of the Declaration of Independence. And we will be circling back to this when we talk about the flag, which is right now.
Oh, thank God.
The first official North Carolina flag was adopted on June 22nd, 1861. Its colors and stripes are based on the stars and bars and displayed the date of North Carolina's secession from the Union.
Okay.
So that's May 20th, 1861. So they were all proud about their secession. Okay. Several Confederate regimental flags were subsequently based on that design. So we talked in South Carolina Crimes about how there were multiple Confederate flags because that was kind of regional.
Yep.
So the North Carolina flag kind of inspired a bunch of those.
Great. What a proud inspiration.
Yeah. Don't worry, they didn't keep that date very long because it's problematic. So the present North Carolina flag is a little bit different, but not by that much. They mostly just switched some colors around, and then they replaced that date. So this new flag was designed by General Johnston Jones, who served in the Confederate Army. Woohoo!
General Johnston Jones.
JJ. The flag consists of a horizontal red stripe over a horizontal white stripe, and then on the left-hand side is a vertical blue stripe incorporating a white star with the initials of the state, NC, and a ribbon above and below the initials.
Cool.
The top ribbon has the date of May 20th, 1775, which is when Charlotte became the first American governing body to declare independence from Great Britain. That date and that fact is actually disputed, which I think is kind of funny because it's so prominent on their flag. They're so fucking proud of it. But like, historians are like, well,
I don't know, guys.
That was an inference made by this one document, which may have been like a reproduction, like an after the fact kind of.
We don't know if it's legit,
y'all. We don't know if that's legit, but I'm not. That is not. I don't have a dog in that fight, so.
Nope. None.
The bottom ribbon has the date April 12th, 1776, which refers to those Halifax Resolves. So both of these dates basically place North Carolina at the forefront of the American independence movement. Aesthetically, it's not the cutest flag.
Yeah.
It's kind of like forcing a history lesson.
It feels a little low effort.
It kind of looks like a lazy AI generated like American state flag.
Yeah, with dates on it.
Yeah. But at least there's no racist imagery in this one.
Yeah,
so
I'll take it. But I hate the racist imagery. I do, however, like the random flags with just like really poorly done illustrations in general
of their like people.
Yes, we've seen some talk about things that they look like AI made them. Like no one could get the hands right. The faces are all off.
The eyes are two different sizes.
Nothing. It's really comical.
There's 6 fingers.
Yeah. So, this is fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
You know what? It's no Sicilian flag with those 3 legs.
The legs in a circle kicking around each other.
It's very Game of Thronesy.
It's the best flag I've ever fucking seen. I love it so much.
These just loose legs, miscellaneous legs.
Known for our loose legs. North Carolina. Let's fucking go. Tar Heels.
Tar heels.
3 legs with sap on them.
Yeah.
Done.
And a pine
Just made your
tree.
flag. And a paw and a Lord a leaping in a pine tree.
New Poe family Christmas song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.